How should I deal with depression? Navigating the ways to cope with depression. Depression can make it really hard to function in everyday life. And that's not a subjective observation. Research repeatedly shows the negative impact that depression can have on daily life. For example, one recent survey, courtesy of the National Center for Health Statistics, showed a large majority of people with depression, 87.9%, had some level of difficulty with work, home, or social activities due to their symptoms. So, how can people cope with depression and limit its interference in their everyday lives? Hi, I'm David Yadush, LPCC, and that's what we'll be talking about today in this episode. But before we dig in to some tips, let's take a quick look at what depression is and what it isn't. What are depression symptoms? So there are several types of depression, each with its own characteristics and diagnostic criteria, although they all share two core symptoms. The first symptom is depressed mood. This is typically described as a persistent feeling of sadness, emptiness, or hopelessness. Kids and adolescents may exhibit irritability instead of or in addition to sadness. The second being a loss of interest or pleasure, also called anhedonia. This refers to the reduction or absence of interest or pleasure in previously enjoyable activities. Anhedonia can manifest as a loss of motivation to participate in pleasurable activities or a diminished capacity to experience joy from them. To be clear, these aren't the only two depression symptoms. The types, severity, and duration of symptoms can vary between different types of depression. However, a depressed mood or a loss of interest or pleasure is a key indicator of a depressive episode. Note, depression is not the same thing as sadness. While sadness, and its many variations, is a core depression symptom, it is an emotion, not a condition. Sadness is a normal part of the human experience that typically passes with time and a little self-care. Depression is an actual disorder that, unlike sadness, isn't usually caused by a singular event. Also, unlike sadness, depression symptoms typically persist for months or years. That said, whether you have depression or not, sadness can feel overwhelming. A lot of the techniques one could use to cope with depression are effective for those times too. What are some other symptoms of depression? Depression often shows up in a combination of ways. Physical symptoms like fatigue, headache, or gastrointestinal issues without a pinpoint cause. Cognitive signs of depression sometimes emerge as trouble with concentration or memory. Emotional symptoms may include persistent emptiness, hopelessness, or irritability. Some people with depression report feeling shame or guilt without a reason. And behaviorally, people with depression might withdraw socially or stop doing things they once enjoyed. Their sleeping or eating habits may also change. Other considerations. Depression often occurs with other mental health conditions, including anxiety, substance use disorders, bipolar and other mood disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Co-occurring conditions can complicate how a person experiences depression symptoms. It can also influence how it's treated. What can I do to cope with depression? Depression can be serious or even dangerous when it goes unmanaged. If you have it, speak to a therapist who can work with you to develop an effective treatment plan. If you think you have depression but aren't sure, talk to a trained mental health professional. They can review your symptoms and build a diagnosis. In the meantime, there are some things that you can do to cope with depression day to day. Take care of your physical health. Study after study has shown how closely our mental and physical health are interconnected. If you have depression, physical self-care is a key component of improving mood, boosting energy, and enhancing your ability to cope with stress. Sleep is particularly important for managing depression, as a lack of sleep can worsen symptoms. Aim for a regular schedule and ensure you get enough sleep, 7 to 9 hours a night for adults, according to the Sleep Foundation. Focus on nutritious foods and avoid excessive alcohol, caffeine, and processed foods, which can negatively impact your mood. Finally, get plenty of exercise. Even short bursts of physical activity can boost your mood and energy levels. Support your mental health. Caring for your mental health involves participating in activities that relieve stress, nurture your well-being, and bring you joy. Keep a regular schedule for sleep, mealtimes, and daily activities to encourage structure and stability. To manage stress and anxiety, try meditation, yoga, or deep breathing exercises. Creative activities like painting, writing, music, or gardening can also provide a sense of purpose and expression. Even if you don't feel like it, try re-engaging in activities you once found pleasurable. It can help you feel a sense of accomplishment and connection. Spend time with your family and friends. Strong social connections can provide a sense of support and belonging. Consider joining a club, volunteering, or participating in social events. Be patient and kind to yourself. If you have depression, you know just how demotivating it can be. So if you've been watching this thinking, geez, I can't even get out of bed in the morning without a fight. How am I supposed to do all this self-care stuff? Take heart. A key part of healing from depression is giving yourself the same empathy and care that you would a good friend. Chances are, you probably wouldn't tell a friend they're being lazy because their depression makes them want to snuggle under the covers, right? Then don't talk to yourself like that either. For people with depression, progress often means achieving a balance between accomplishment and self-kindness. So be kind to yourself and remember, feeling better might take some time. Take it one step at a time and celebrate any progress you make, no matter how small. So to recap, if you have depression or think you have depression, 1, seek help from a mental health professional. 2, get plenty of sleep and exercise and eat nutritiously. 3, do things that nurture your well-being. And 4, be kind to yourself and try to limit negative self-talk. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and enable notifications for more mental health tips and information from BetterHelp. Also, please feel free to leave a comment about your experiences with depression. Do you have any tried and true self-care practices you'd like to share? We'd love to hear from you. Take good care and see you next time.